Hey folks, welcome to Real Movies Fake History, a show where we critique movies based on true stories. I'm Gaz.
And I'm Mel.
No, you're not mistaken, we are back and we've got a special movie to cover on this episode, King Richard, the 2021 movie starring Will Smith. It's going to be a good show. We'll be getting into the finer details of the true story as well as critiquing the movie more broadly. And you should definitely stick around because we're going to be having we'll be playing a little game that I'm keeping a surprise for Mel's sake because...
I like surprises.
You do like surprises, let's do that. But King Richard,
yes.
Mel, this is our movie today. You know, maybe the best tennis-related movie I've ever seen. I was thinking of all the tennis movies that I've consumed in my life, not that there's that many, but it's a sport that's maybe represented in movies. And this one, when I watched it, I thought, is this the de facto tennis movie? If you want to play the sport, if you're looking to find inspirational content that gives you something to think about, some food for thought, this is going to be the movie you go to.
So I love this movie, but I do have a shout out for Wimbledon starring Kirsten Dunst.
I have seen that one.
Because I had gastro on an aeroplane and that movie got me through the horrible flight. So I have a real soft spot for that movie. But I think the reason why I like this movie is it's so much more than just about tennis.
You're right.
This is about raising young children to become superstars. It's about racism, it's about adversity, it's about gang wars and people being shot on the street.
I mean, an underdog story. But we think about underdog stories like this is a real underdog story.
It is.
Coming from Compton, coming from underprivileged background.
So let's be honest, tennis is a rich person sport.
Well, it's a white sport, right?
It's a white sport, but it's also a rich person. It's a white rich person sport.
Yeah. Even if you have the resources, even if you have the money, even under those circumstances, being competitive at a professional level in tennis is basically impossible.
Well, and I think part of the reason why it's so hard is because it's basically a solo sport. You don't have energy off your teammates to bounce off in a game. It's you.
When you're the lone person in the heat of competition, there's only you and your brain. And that's what they commonly say to people, when you're playing a sport that is, just one person. It's not so much you're fighting your opponent, it's that you're fighting yourself.
And it's got a more extreme endurism than, say, golf, which is also an individual sport.
Right.
Like, this is basically running a marathon on a court and hitting a ball.
With all the psychological trappings, though, of
that
golf.
Goes with it.
Yeah, because, again, golf it's like the psychology is brutal because if you don't think you can hit the shot, you're not going to hit the shot.
Exactly.
And I think we're all human beings. It's so easy to just go to the place where you're like, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I can't do this. And then to be able to not think like that and, like you said, be then as fit as like the most fittest athlete in the world, do all the physical stuff. I mean, it's extraordinary when you think about it. They mention it in the movie, of course, and I keep going back to it. I think it's not so much that Richard Williams, the character Will Smith plays, it's not so much that he raised one Michael Jordan, it's that he raised two Michael Jordans. And most of the time in movies like this, you see the infrastructure of a sport and they're all white people, basically, and they're all going, no, there's no way you've got the two next Michael Jordans. There's no chance. Like, the likelihood of that being the case is so slim. The next two Mozarts, I think they mentioned as well. It's the likelihood of that happening is just so small.
And to be fair, Mozart did have a sister who was nearly just as incredibly talented as he was.
Yes.
But because of the sexism at the time, she wasn't allowed to prosper in the same way.
That's a yes.
So it's not insane.
And there's a good movie about her too, actually.
But I think we should set the scene.
Let's do it. Let's set the scene.
We start on a tennis court.
Yeah.
In Compton, California.
They call it the country club or the club, but it's not really a country club.
No. It's like the local council or the public tennis courts.
Yeah, in Compton.
Now,
right.
Richard, in his biography, talks about the gang used to absolutely hang around there because that's where they would sell drugs.
Yes. Okay.
In and around the tennis court. And he regularly got beat up by the gang for wanting to use the tennis court, for asking them not to deal in that area, all that kind of stuff. Like, It's bad.
It's there's no dramatic license in this, right? Like that's true that like
It was worse in real life. Now, the family weren't originally from Compton.
right.
So, as the movie talks about, Richard was brought up in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And in his book, and this is coming from a very ignorant place from myself, I didn't realize how powerful the Ku Klux Klan and the violence against Black people was in that part of the world, even in the 1940s and 50s.
Right. When he grew up.
When he grew up. Like,
Yeah.
the Klan would just deliberately target young Black men and Black boys, so there was no resistance. And when I mean target, I mean kill them. And there would be no police response because I assume some of those cops would be cops for a shift and then they'd also be Ku Klux Klan for another shift. So you get away with doing whatever you want when you know your mate is either a cop turning a blind eye or is a member of the Klan.
The brutal reality of that life is almost difficult to even grasp how difficult that is. That like the infrastructure that's supposed to protect everyone did
not exist in this very poor town in Louisiana. Not only that, Richard, by about the age 7 or 8, 2 of his childhood best friends had already been killed. He has to keep getting a new best friend because one got hit by a car and the woman driving the car didn't even stop when she hit the kid.
It's extraordinary, right?
And there was no consequences, no charges were laid.
I guess in Richard Williams' case, and we're going to be talking a lot about him because, you know...
The movie is about him. It's his story.
It's his story. He's the driving force. It's both his amazing, intense traits that push everybody towards this success. But I guess, when you talk about where he comes from, Mel, I mean, we can't help but get into the realm of, like, what makes someone like Richard be the man he is? Because I'm guessing by the type of upbringing that you're talking about, this is an upbringing where not only are the institutions against you, everybody's against you. From the very beginning, you almost have no hope of... The only way to get anywhere is to just leave.
And that's what he did. So he was one of 5. He did go and live with his uncle and aunt in Chicago.
Yeah.
And a number of cousins. And he got a job in construction, and then he moved back, and then he moved somewhere else. And he did leave Louisiana because you're right, he had no choice. You've just got to.
You have to. Because I guess I can't imagine what your headspace is like. You either give up because there's just so much prejudice against you, or you ultimately become obsessed with doing something and fighting against this oppression.
Statistically, what happens is you're murdered.
Yeah, or you don't even get the chance to make a choice. Yeah, I mean, these are unbelievably difficult circumstances.
So Richard, I would say the movie, and you'd expect this because his daughters Venus and Serena are executive producers, and Richard is still alive when they made this movie.
Of course.
You're not going to have a warts and all movie.
Yes, that's an interesting thing to talk about the idea of how sanitized or how... It
is sanitized.
Yeah, do you feel like that?
It is absolutely sanitized.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a couple of examples. He was married, and it is mentioned in the movie before Brandy.
Yes.
He had 5 kids. He just abandoned them.
They talk about it briefly during an argument, but it's not like there are any consequences set to that decision. It's not in the movie, is it, really?
No.
Yeah.
But he just left them.
Yeah.
And the first wife. I mean, they got divorced and everything else, but abandoned them.
Yeah.
So I think as a lot of humans, we can all be incredibly flawed. So he abandoned his first marriage and kids, but he also had successes and failures in business and in life. He's not a consistent man, I would say.
I mean, in the movie, when him and Randy have an argument, they talk about, what about your cleaning business and your other business? So he did
have a cleaning business.
Right.
And he did let it collapse.
Okay.
And he did have a security business. And because I've read the biography, which he has written, he kind of glosses over some of this stuff. But I've done some reading more from the perspective of Serena and Venus, and they just say, yeah, one day he just stopped working.
And can I ask, which book did you read, actually?
That is a very good question. I don't think I've got the full title.
Oh,
it is his book, Black and White. I think it's the 2014 one.
Yeah, got you. I mean, I suppose...
He's written 2.
You're a pretty critical reader. I imagine when you read the book, you're also aware that as you're reading Richard Williams' own book, you're going to be thinking to yourself, well, what's he leaving out of this? You know, what's he skipping over? It's an extraordinary story, and he's a certainly heroic character in terms of preservation, you know?
So for people listening on at home that want the full title, it's called Black and White, The Way I See It.
I always think it's difficult to write a book and get your entire person in there. But is it fair to say that he's skipping over some of the more negative aspects of his life in a book like that?
I think he is, and I think he was very. You can't force your children to become a success. They've got to want to do it. Like, you can be there and supportive, and you can be there. And I think that on the one hand, that's true, but I also don't buy that, like, they were driving that either.
Right.
Like, they were very much raised in an environment where Serena and Venus did not go to regular school. They were homeschooled by Richard, especially in the early years, but their older stepsisters did go to regular school. They are then having tennis coaching by Richard. Like, they're not having a regular life.
No.
So I don't know if they even understood whether they had a choice or not.
Well, if you don't know what a regular life is, then you don't know what else there was to experience. Would that be fair to say?
And Venus talks about her first job was delivering phone books. She was age 3. Like, they are starting incredibly early. And he did deliberately do things to toughen up these girls. And they were girls at the time. Like, have people from the gangs and the local schools come to the tennis court and yell abuse at the girls.
Really?
They would train in the rain. He would also get them to train regularly with old, less useful tennis balls that wouldn't bounce properly, so they would have to hit them on the full.
Right.
To make them harder and faster and lower.
Undeniably, all of these tough experiences, I mean, some of them are covered in the movie. We certainly see Richard making them play in the rain. I know there's one really interesting scene in King Richard where, you know, he's basically making them play in the rain because he's saying, you're going to have to play in the rain.
The ball doesn't bounce.
Yeah,
well, no, it's about the ball not bouncing.
And the ball has a different weight to it because it's wet.
But in professional tennis, they don't play in the rain as a general rule.
Okay.
So this is actually about the ball not bouncing, and they've got to hit it on the full.
Right, exactly. So like, it's unorthodox, but again, this is Richard Williams' way of saying to his girls, you know, you're going to be able to do anything. You're going to do the hardest work. You're going to work harder than anybody else. So when it comes to competing, it's going to be, you're going to be the best.
But to have a prodigy, it's not enough just to train the hardest. Like, you've also got to have the physical attributes. You've got to gain those technical skills. You've also got to have the psychological grit and determination. So you could train for 10 hours every day for 10 years and still fall apart in a tennis match because you've got no mental grit.
And that happens all the time.
All the time. So it's not just about being good with the ball. Like, it's more than that. And then you've also got to have that kind of personal determination and perseverance to keep going. The psychology of, like, who's got the upper hand is so important in a sport like tennis.
An individual sport.
An individual sport where there's only 2 of you.
That's right.
And about how do you change momentum. And we talk about that in soccer and football, etc. But it seems to be even more important because there's only 2 of you. There's less variables.
Correct.
Now, Compton was a risk for many reasons. Number one, the girls actually weren't born in Compton. So originally, Richard, Brandy, and the 3 oldest girls, so these are Brandy's daughters from a first marriage, they actually grew up near a beach in California, like in a much more middle-class existence.
Oh, really?
And Richard actually chose to move the family to Compton.
Really?
Because he had read things about Muhammad Ali and other people who became real superstars. And one of the things they had in common was the poverty and the hardship of their neighborhood.
Really?
And he was determined to toughen up his girls in order to make it to the top.
So
they didn't need to live there.
So that was a conscious choice he made?
No, not conscious, deliberate.
Yeah, right.
They sold the house that they had and they bought a house in Compton.
That's fascinating that he did that. Right.
But also, think about it this way. His wife's a nurse. Yes, in the movie, he's just a mere security guard, but in real life, he owned a security guard business. They're much more middle class.
Really?
Yes,
God,
really.
That is mad to me, actually, because...
Do you think, like, hardcore working class family is going to be able to do this in the same way? Really?
I mean, the film So I'm not saying, so you're right. I think as far as reality is, when you said like that in real life, I think probably not. But the movie kind of sells that to you, though, in a weird way. Like
It's a fantasy.
fascinating, right? Because I always think of this thing where he does tennis training with his daughters during the day. Then he comes home in the van, they have dinner, and then he has to get ready to go to work. And the way the work is given to you is that he has this lowly kind of rubbish job as an all-night security guard. Every day is going, he works, trains all day.
And the thing you're missing is that they were homeschooled. So he's not just training them all day. They are training before school, then they're doing homeschool with Richard, then they're doing training after school.
Right.
Then Richard goes to work.
Which when you see it in the movie, you think this is crazy, but it's selling me very well the idea that this is someone at the breadline struggling nearly. You know, I don't know why I thought
Which
that.
doesn't make sense if she's a nurse.
True.
Right? Like you just...
I know, it's a fair. It's so interesting. The film does leave out the before, because the film starts...
Because it's a better story this way.
It is, that's true. Like the film starts with them, the girls being at an age where they're just coming into their own at tennis. You know, they're just a little young, but they're getting there and they're ready for the next step, and you're like there. But then you're right, if you tell the story before that, it doesn't quite feel as...
Because people go, why are you putting your children deliberately in harm's way?
Right.
And it had consequences. Their oldest daughter got shot in Compton.
Yeah, in 2003.
When she is a mother, she's got 3 kids. Like, she did not need to have grown up in that neighborhood.
So this was Tundi, who was...
She was the oldest out of the 5.
She was the oldest, and she was Venus and Serena Williams' mother, Brandy. Tundi was Brandy's older daughter from a different marriage, if I'm right.
But they grew up together.
Yeah, in the same house. So Tundi gets shot in a gang shooting.
Also a nurse, like her mother was.
Wow, really? I mean, it's very sad. And that was in 2003. So the girls, Venus and Serena, their careers were officially, like, they were absolutely exploding.
Big megastars. Yep.
Yeah, so extremely sad. That's so interesting that then he moved Compton in the sense that it was about giving character to his children because of that neighborhood.
And the reason why I bring that up is because on the one hand, the gamble did work for Serena and Venus, but it didn't work for everyone. And I think that's important because this is viewed as such a success story, and in many ways it is. But how many other people do you think have tried this or something similar?
Well, I feel
and
like
it's
that.
not a success.
I feel the same. I feel like I can't help but watch this movie and go, yep, the intensity of all of this is fascinating to show. How do you build a champion from nothing, essentially, with such a conscious push?
But you can't if they don't have talent.
Well, that's right, Bill. But you said it, like, you don't get movies about the other 10,000 people that did this,
boring,
that just didn't make it.
Exactly.
And so, in a way, it's not as simple to go, well, if you do the Richard Williams plan, you're going to make it.
Well, the classic one is Jennifer Capriati.
Right.
It's mentioned a lot in this film.
That's right.
So her upbringing was very different, but she still went through the Rick Macy school.
Yes, right.
Elite, hardcore training. She's burnt out.
Yeah, and
is psychologically scarred. She has a criminal record and has got into trouble several times with the law.
Which also shows you, I guess, part of the ingenuity of Richard Williams as a father. He seems to understand that I need to push my girls in this particular direction for them to be the best in the world and what I want them to do, essentially. But he's also conscious enough to go, if I push them too hard, they're going to go into this pathway of being burnt out and then go down a pathway where they're going to crash and go, I haven't had a childhood. I need, I'm going to take drugs. Or
you say that, and yes, nothing was ever as extreme, but the girls did move out when they were like 16 and 17.
It was intense, that sounds like, yeah.
Like, and at the same time, they are incredibly loyal to their father and they love their father and mother to bits. And also, they're allowed to have private feelings about their parents and their childhood that they're not going to articulate in public.
Of course not. Yeah. I would also say the film does get into the weeds a little bit by portraying Richard as a complicated character. When I watched it the first time, my feeling about Richard Williams was not particularly positive. I was very inspired by the girls and the family and the unit in total, But I did have a lot of negative feelings about how Richard raised the girls and some of the behavior that he has in the movie. But then I watched the movie like you multiple times since, and my opinion changes on him depending on what's going on. Because there are times when I go, is it selfishness? And this is our core question, maybe, is what...
Did he do it for him or did he do it for them?
Because it's both, isn't it, really? But a lot of it is him, though, right? I mean, I feel like the movie does...
Well, that's the million-dollar question. And I think the truth is no one really knows.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it interesting and fascinating.
Exactly. You can watch this movie and get two different people from it, really.
Because the other part of it is like, potentially, how much was he doing it for his community and also just for Black people in general? Because he literally stuck it to one of the whitest privileged sports on the planet.
I mean, amazing.
And changed it forever.
Literally.
And made it better and more inclusive. Like, this is a sport where in Wimbledon, you're only allowed to wear white outfits.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you mean, like, that is the most absolute of sticking it to the man you can do by raising two Black female tennis players and then dominating. Like, that is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so much of the pleasure of this movie is watching white parents who are spoiled and upper middle class and them going like, why are these two girls beating my children?
Exactly. Why? It's brilliant to watch.
And there's so many wonderful moments where you see...
the agents with that guy with the ridiculous cigar and all that kind of rubbish.
Again,
and then Richard just does the fart at the table.
I mean, because you're right, there's something very engrossing about watching this.
You want Richard to succeed.
Yeah.
Just as you want Serena and Venus to succeed because you're like, the world is unfair.
Yeah.
This, in a very tiny way, just makes things a little bit more even.
I mean, because you're being assaulted by this privileged white class. And then you've got these people going, we're going to be better than everybody because we're going to have to work harder for it. And this whole system...
But they also changed how women's tennis is played.
Right.
They used power, which had been very traditional in men's tennis, but women's tennis had been softer and gentler and more about tactics.
Yes, right.
And that's exciting to watch anyone who changes how sport is played.
Yeah.
Because they didn't just play it the same way that women had been playing it for decades. They revolutionized it.
Yeah, right.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is so cool. As somebody that doesn't know tennis, I guess this changes the game if you're into it.
It did. And it took women a number of years to catch up and change to be able to play it in the new style because that was the only way you could defeat them.
And that's so common in sports where like somebody revolutionizes something and then everybody, as you said, you're like 3 to 4 years behind. Mm-hmm. And so it takes you that long to build the next player that can even compete with them. And then by that point, the Williams sisters dominate because nobody's like can compete physically with these guys. Yeah, Richard, again, such an interesting guy. I feel always conflicted on him in that, as you said, there's a intelligence to him at a media level that almost gives him a quality of somebody that is a self-promoter, right? And that's something the film does point out in the middle act a couple of times, where it talks to the idea that Richard will do TV interviews for himself. He will portray himself as kind of the maker of these two prodigies in tennis, and he's on a promotional platform for himself that does seem a little conceited at times. And so it's really fascinating to see that against this intelligence where he knows that I need to take my girls to Disneyland because they're not going to, I don't want them to have an abnormal childhood.
I don't want to be Jennifer Capriati.
Right. Like he knows this, doesn't he? He knows that like, I don't want my kids to play juniors because if they do that, I can see the negative problem of them being in this pathway that's going to burn them out. And then their life's going to take a negative turn. I think it's more than just
burnout. I think it's the psychological upheaval and demands of playing tournaments at that age being that serious. Because there's a fundamental difference between training in an incredibly safe environment with either your father or your coach, where there is no audience, versus being on the junior circuit where people are going to be gossiping about who's put on weight, who is physically developing, or that fall? Could there be an injury? Like, you just don't get any of that garbage if you're in a protective training environment. And it doesn't last for that long. Like, Venus goes back and starts playing professionally at age 14.
Which is still very young.
It's really young. And that...
Because the movie does make you feel like it takes a long time.
It makes me deeply uncomfortable. And I know they have since changed the rules, how young they let players become professional.
And
they're children.
And
that's not okay.
And to be clear, that's professional games at 14, right? I mean, this is like, that's so young to deal with the pressure of.
Well, some of them would do. Jennifer Capriati was 12?
It's ridiculous, isn't
Martina Hingis, all of them were really, really young. Like, that's insane. So it's not crazy that Richard goes, do you know what? No, we're not doing this for a couple of years. You're 12. Let's not.
Well, there's so many fascinating moments where, like, the white infrastructure's going, Richard, you don't understand. You don't know what you're doing. You're not a real tennis coach. You're an amateur. Leave it to us. This pathway of competing at a young age, of juniors, of tournaments, all of this has been done before. It's what your daughter should do. To stand up against that is so awesome in the movie because, again, it's about him going, I want all this, but I'm going to do it my way. And to do all of that is what makes the movie so inspiring, because it would be inspirational enough just to do the normal thing. Yeah, okay, you guys know what you're talking about. But he doesn't do that. It's so fascinating to watch this guy just sit there and be stubborn and say, I know that you think this is how it should be done.
I think if Richard believed that playing juniors was the best way, he would do it.
Right.
I don't think he just does it cause. I think he is, and there's a great monologue that Will Smith gives where he talks about how so many professional athletes, whether it's football or any other sport, end up bankrupt very soon after they retire,
right? Because
they don't know how to look after their money. And why don't they know how to look after their money? Because they're not educated.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all heard stories like that. I feel like it
still happens.
Yeah, even now, you know, like.
But the rates of black athletes becoming bankrupt are even higher. And to be fair, I think either Serena or Venus, it might have been both, did come out and say they wish they'd had more financial education earlier about how to look after their money. So even they thought it wasn't enough.
And they're getting paid more than the average tennis player by their victory.
But if you're earning multi-million dollars and having sports endorsements, you need to have a different financial infrastructure than if you've got a minimum wage job at a supermarket when you're 16.
Correct. This is very different.
Right? Like, Venus Williams got endorsed with Reebok for $15 million when she's like 15.
You need like kind of complex financial advice to
handle that. This is it, right? Because there's international tax laws.
Right.
Like, where are you earning your income? Like,
which island do I deposit all this cash
into?
But
not even to like be dodgy with your money. I just mean because it's a lot of cash.
It is. Like,
right? Like the normal 15-year-old kid has a job at the supermarket or a job at a cafe or a diner. Yeah. They still live at home.
Yeah,
they're under the tax-3 threshold. Like, it's simple.
Yeah, the only financial advice you need in that case is, do you have a mattress? Yes. Okay. We're good.
Well, no, you don't need a mattress because you live at home.
Well, true.
Right?
I stuff it under
like
the mattress.
Well, no, because your money is more like, okay, either I'm saving for a car.
Right.
Or I have a car. Can I pay for the petrol?
Yeah.
Or like, can I afford to go out to the movies with my friends? Like, they're the kind of transactions you're making.
Yeah.
And you're developing financial skills as you get older so you can learn to make bigger, more complex transactions.
Yeah.
Save for a house, plan an overseas holiday, etc. She's gone from making no financial transactions to suddenly being responsible for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's buying a house at 16, 17.
Like, what was the Reebok deal? 14 million?
Something astronomical, which is awesome.
Oh, it is.
But it means that even with the parents' focus on education, no high school education, whether homeschooling or in regular school, is teaching you how to do really complex financial management to becoming a millionaire at 16. Serena has spoken publicly about how she'd had several chats with Oprah as a more mature woman, not as a teenager, about how do you keep control of your finances and don't have your dodgy business partners and all that kind of stuff. And Oprah's advice is, if you want to keep control, you have to be the one signing the checks.
Yes.
Now, in these days, we don't sign checks. But the point was,
it's a metaphor, isn't it?
It's not even a metaphor.
Yeah.
The point is, you're not having your business advisor authorizing transactions on your behalf.
Yeah.
right? Having access to the bank account. You're the one who's paying, approving the payment of stuff. You're the ones that's paying approval for buying the house or whatever else.
I like that we've become a financial advice podcast now, but I think that's very true. I feel like, Mel's talking to me and going, yeah, if, you gotta keep an eye on where the money's going. You know what I mean? You don't want to give the power to all because it's always every story about a famous sports person or even musicians and stuff. It's always about like,
how they lost the money.
Yeah.
All of them.
It's always like this. I had this dodgy advisor, and they're like, where did my money go? Oh, we invested it. It's gone now. And you're like, what do you mean it's gone?
Yeah, and they didn't invest it. They just stole it.
Yeah. Like there's some fascinating, there's so many stories of people hitting like peak fame and then going, I was totally broke. And you're like, how does
That's why they kept working.
Keep your eye on the money.
And I think what Richard is trying to articulate here is these girls don't have other skills at this stage.
Yeah, okay.
They're professional tennis players. If they get injured, and I just don't mean a sprained ankle, I mean career-ending injury.
Yeah, like a bad
their
knee
income earning potential is reduced to nothing. Which is why he's like, yeah, you're going to go to school.
Yeah, that's hard, because in a team sport, you can get away with that as well. It's like another reason why an individual sport's so tough, because like you said, if one injury, that's it. Right, that's the whole thing done. In a team sport, you can be carried for a little while till you recover.
You can be subbed out for 20 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. This is just like individual sports is brutal. 14 years old. It's crazy, So
I think we should talk about some of these coaches that the girls had because it's part of their journey of Richard and Brandy realizing we need some extra support.
Right.
We can't bring them up to standard on our own.
Richard Williams does the smart thing that you go, well, this is what the underdog does. When he's at his security job, he takes out the tennis magazines.
From the library,
and he's opening up and then he sees like Vic Braden's name on them. Famous tennis coach, Vic Braden. And Vic's got a quote going, I'm the best in the business or whatever. And so he's like, he writes that name down and you're going, there's an ingenuity to Richard because he's like, I'm going to hunt this guy down.
And that guy, I swear, in so many movies, he's the guy that says no.
I feel like you're right.
He gives that monologue, whether it's like military, naval, sport.
Kevin Dunn is the guy's name. Kevin Dunn from, what's the movie? Transformers, I feel like is one of his big movies that he did. But Kevin Dunn's in loads of movies. He's a cracking character actor. But I think you're right. He doesn't say no in a bad way. But he does give us that speech of going, do you understand how unlikely it is? Do you realize that like it's almost basically impossible for me to believe that you
I'm not prepared to make the financial gamble on what you're offering.
Yeah. Yeah, because Richard's saying, I want free training essentially for the girls. Essentially.
Not one girl,
two.
Both.
Yeah.
But Paul Cohen takes up the risk, but
yes.
only for one of them. So the movie is correct when he says he'll only cover Venus for free. Which is why they do record all the training sessions so Serena can watch it.
I love that, though.
But that's true.
I love that piece of character because that says a lot to me about the integrity of Richard for the two girls. Because he, there's so many parents, Mel, that would just call it there and say, well, we have the one. We got the one champion. Maybe it is too hard. Maybe
I think it's too early to make it. If you're a gambler, and Richard is, it's too in a single sport. It's too early.
Yeah, got to play doubles. Got to double my odds. But I just really appreciate it. I thought it was it showed a lot of integrity for him to put the effort and go, I'm going to record everything. And they have that really cool montage in the movie where it shows you Venus being trained by the professional guy. And then it combines it with like her mum giving Serena the same training.
Drill. Yep.
Yeah, but because they couldn't get both of them trained, but this is how they make up for it, is the videotaping and then the mother going, no, I'm going to put in the work and we're going to make sure that she learns the same things.
And Brandy is a really cool character. Like that family does not get where it gets to without her there.
Yeah.
Because she also tempers Richard and calls him out when he's going too far.
She's so important. And I have to get your take on it. One of the things when I watched the movie multiple times, I do think to myself, it is called King Richard. The movie is literally saying, this is the guy, he's responsible, he's the guy on the podium. I do wonder sometimes, should the movie be called the Williams story? Or, should King Richard's a great title, but it really makes it sound like it's all about one guy. But it's not, because the mother is immensely important to this story.
So by 2021, a couple are divorced.
Okay.
And I don't know if they would have been, how happy they would have been in a movie starring both of them by then.
Okay.
I don't know. That's me guessing.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know whether Brandy would have wanted to be the center of attention. She might have been, but she might have been, no, I don't want this.
I don't want to be the subject. Yeah. I think she comes across really well in the movie. I don't think she's in the movie enough.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, like I think she, if anything, after watching it multiple times, you know, the sense of importance that she
should be in it more, and the coaches should be in it less.
Correct. I feel like what she does is extremely important when she is on screen, you know. But I still go back to it, Mel. I think it's fascinating. You can watch the movie multiple ways. You can honestly walk out of the movie inspired, but also a bit icky about the driving force behind Richard's intensity. But also you have to then also agree that like the girls, I guess, don't achieve what they achieve without that person shadowing them.
Well, that was going to be my question is, do you even think that's possible to get to that level of excellence without a bit of icky?
No, not at all.
Right? I don't think it is possible.
It's not even remotely possible, actually.
So you have to accept if you want to be the best.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit uncomfortable.
And yeah, exactly. It's very well put. I don't even think for a minute it's even remotely a possibility. You a million people, it wouldn't happen.
And I think the movie fully acknowledges that.
As far as tennis coaches then, I guess what happens is he goes to Rick Macy.
They moved to Florida.
And
he's a character.
He's funny. I do like him. I love the joke of how, because the agreement is that he pays for this everything, which, you know, it's a hell of a deal. So basically he's going, right, I'm going to pay for everything. I'll pay for the
but I get 15% of your earnings
for the rest of your life, I guess, or whatever it is. So the idea is that for him, it's an investment, like he's investing in a company that's going to produce profit at a later date. But in the meantime, you get like the 5-star house and you get schools and you get to come to Florida and the mobile home and everything.
Love the mobile home. That's cute.
It is very good. But I do. John Bernthal is very good as Rick Macy. I love, though, the joke. The joke keeps coming back is that because Rick is going, well, you need to make money for me to get 15%. So that's how this works, you know? And in every moment money is given to them, they're like, no, I don't think we'll take that sponsorship deal. We'll be all right. You okay, Rick? I'm going to get a sandwich. And Rick's going, when am I going to make money off these people? Oh, why don't we play juniors? You know, we can raise the profile, get some sponsors. No, we're not playing any juniors, Rick. We're not playing anything. And you can just see this guy going, I am never going to make money from these two. It's such a good deal if you are them to get that outcome.
But it's partly funded, and the movie suggests this, by some weaker players who wouldn't be there on scholarship and would have to pay to attend the academy.
That's fair, yes. Because Richard Williams himself calls out, like, why is there some crap tennis players in your academy?
Because they would be paid customers.
Yeah. What's the line he says? He says, you know,
you got to pay some hamburgers to pay for the steak.
Yeah, that's right. You need to sell a few hamburgers to get the sirloin or whatever it was. It's very good. And
there's a lot of tennis academies out there that do charge.
Yeah. So I guess the idea is parents are putting in their kind of kids, you know.
Yeah, he's a rich white boy.
Yeah, and he's going like, you're going to be great at tennis, pay all the money, but that helps cover the costs of then Rick taking the deal of going, okay, I'm going to invest in you, particularly because I think you're good. I mean, it's a hell of a life change. I watch this movie and go, what a deal. You could tell how like working class I am, because they bring them through the academy and they're like, here's the canteen. You can eat here day or night. It's all free. And then I'm sitting here going, oh my God, that is such a deal.
The burger looks amazing.
It's so good. I'm like, I would just eat burgers all day. It's just such a...
It's not going to work if you're an athlete. No. And he does make that reference to that young, like, guy who's got 0% body fat.
Right. Well, this is it. He says like it's the best French fries in the state, and I'm like, you need to get rid of that. That is not a good thing to have at an elite athlete academy, having like something that addictive. But you know that it's not an easy role to play, the Rick Mackey role, because one thing that John Bernthal does is that there's a real sense of like, you know, to be that coach, to be the elite coach, you need to be fuming with energy every day.
And he is.
He's just like, going.
He's great.
He's like, guys, welcome to the sun. Oh, I'm excited. It's a new day. And you're just like, God, it must be exhausting being this guy all the time. He's just so enthusiastic.
Well, no, he's just an extrovert. He's full of beans.
It's true.
That's who he is.
I don't understand. It's so good. he's so good at the role, and he's so enthusiastic about everything. And, he would say to me, like, you got to be the best. I'm like, yeah, sure,
You're not getting a scholarship to a tennis academy.
This is why I know it's not going to happen. But what a deal, though. And so now they're in Florida and they get to do the thing. But the drama to me at this point in the movie, Mel, is watching how there's this infrastructure of what you're supposed to do. And Richard's sitting there going, we're not going to do that.
He's a bit sneaky. He waits till he gets to Florida to tell Rick that they're not playing juniors.
Yeah. He's so funny. And like, there's so many funny parts where, like, because part of the deal is that Richard is employed.
Yes, on staff in
the academy. And I'm like, what does he do? What is he? Is he professional hamburger eater,
Well, I assume part of what he's doing is learning everything he can, because the girls only stay at that academy for 4 years.
It's a long time. Yeah.
And then what happens is Richard gets his own house, builds 3 tennis courts, and they train at home.
Really? So that's not in the movie, actually.
No.
Right. Okay. See, that's impressive, right? Like,
because it doesn't happen until after the Reebok deal.
Yeah. It feels in a way that they're just broke until the Reebok deal, really, in this movie. It's not, I know that's not literally
Brady's working full-time as a nurse throughout this whole movie.
Yeah, she's like doing so much work. I mean, she is the silent hero in the background of all of this. By the time you get to Florida, you're at the academy, you get free burgers, you think to yourself, this is it. We haven't made it, but everything here is going to plan to get to the top. And even then, Richard's like, it's not enough. We want more coaches, more different types of influences coming in to teach the girls more. It's the lack of, he's never satisfied by who the girls are.
I'd say it's the lack of shame.
Yes. Yeah. I was
He's
amazed.
living in a free house provided by Rick, but he has no qualms going behind Rick's back.
No.
And getting other tennis lessons.
Ballsy, brass neck, and this is who he is. So you go, well, this is part of the ingredients.
He's a risk taker.
Yeah, he's just, the way he talks in the movie I love, because he diffuses arguments very cleverly. There's a great scene where Rick Mackey is arguing with Richard on the driveway. He's saying, the girls are ready to play. Let me take them on this journey. And as part of the argument, Rick says, oh, I'm sorry, who pays for all this? Can you tell me why you're living in this big house? And then Richard just turns around and he says, don't say anymore, Rick. You're better than this. You're a better person. You're going to, and I just thought that was brilliant. He just diffuses everything by saying, you're a better person than that. Don't go there.
But Richard's also being really cheeky. The
Very.
deal is he's coming to this academy on scholarship, and instead he's taken the girls off.
Yeah, to Disney World.
He's playing truant.
Yeah.
It's literally wagging for the day.
It's fascinating. I mean, you're right. There's such a cheekiness to Richard that you can't help but like, though. It's actually quite a likable cheekiness, because there's a rebelliousness, punkishness to him against the institutions.
Oh, well, he's a million miles away from a villain.
Yeah.
He's just a complex man who definitely loves and adores his daughters.
I'm thinking of myself, because you do this. You watch movies, you put yourself in that position. You think, if I got a free canteen, I keep going back to the canteen, but if I got free food and I was being taught on a scholarship and
But we know how to bribe you.
I would just be
free
I know.
food.
Just say free food. It's like, you gotta just hamburgers. Yeah, great. This is so good. No, it's all.
But that's
I need.
not how you become a champion.
Well, I'm not a champion, Mel. I don't know if you know this. I didn't make it. It was close, but I didn't quite make the cut. But the thing is, I would just go, this is great. We're doing good. Everything's working out. I'm in Florida. I was in Compton. I'm now in Florida. I should be happy at this. And, not satisfied, but happy. It is good.
Why? Because if your objective is to produce the next 2 Michael Jordans, that's not enough.
Well, I see, this is why I'm not Richard Williams, because I'd be like, well, maybe we don't need to be Michael Jordan. Maybe I can be like...
No, that's the dream.
Yeah. Like that intensity.
They moved to an area with gangs and gun violence to produce the next Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
They didn't do that to produce, I don't know, 2 above average tennis players.
I love that. What's your goal? I want to be an above average tennis player. It's like, oh my God, this movie's terrible.
Right? We're going for number 1 and 2 on the world rankings. We're not going for 249.
Yeah. Okay. I am satisfied with the hamburgers. That's okay.
Florida looks great. It looks sunny. It looks warm. I'd be very happy to hang out there.
There is this thing in the movie where like they do Compton, and Compton's kind of gritty and grey, and it rains in the tennis courts, it's LA, and you're like, right, and then the gang members turn up and they're, kind of abusive, and you're like, oh, this is scary. And then they go to like Florida, sunshine, palm trees, green, water, Disney World, giant, it's such a shock of change in environment that you go, okay, I can see why Rick Mackey's so happy. He's just such a happy man to be up and going, you're doing great, girls, high five. He says that great thing where he's like, we're going to be making popcorn, but with extra butter. Am I right? Am I right? And then you're like, okay, this guy's enthusiastic.
Great line.
Hey folks, it's intermission time.
Make yourself a drink, grab some popcorn, and don't forget when making green tea, you only leave the tea leaves in for about 80 seconds.
Oh, come on. Oh, this is awful. Oh, well, it tastes better now. And everything's ruined.
Listen, while Gaz fixes up his tea problem, why not take a moment to subscribe to our show or leave a review on your podcast app or just tell someone about the show. It really helps. Don't forget to also pop by our website, realmoviesfakehistory.com, for some brilliant reviews by Gaz.
Oh, come on. What's the point, Mel? The tea's ruined. We should just cancel this show.
Chin up, Gaz. I've made some new tea just for you.
What? Wow, get out. Oh, this is awesome. Honestly, this is the best day ever.
You okay to return to the show?
Yeah, yeah, we could do it.
Now, Venus is 14 and she wants to become a pro.
Yes, she's frustrated.
Because the other girls her age are turning pro or about to turn pro.
Yes. I think they mentioned Kordakova and some of the other ones. Yes. So it's it's happening. Her dad is obviously saying, nope, you're not going, we're going to keep you locked up until the day.
Locked up. She's playing at a tennis academy and go to Disneyland. She's hardly locked up.
She's locked up. Yes, still locked up. It's like, because it's like Cinderella. She's obviously frustrated. Venus feels that she's ready to go. She wants to play juniors. She wants to play proper big competitions.
This isn't juniors. This is the professionals. Yeah.
Sorry, not juniors. Yeah, the real deal. And also by this point, there's a lot of pressure because also Richard's doing interviews with the media. The media is saying, well, apparently you've got the next two Michael Jordans, in your pocket. When are they going to go professional? And he's like, when I say they're ready. Right? This is it.
Which is very sensible when you're talking about young teenagers.
Oh, yeah. And the media, you know what the media's like. The media manipulates things and it's a very unhealthy environment,
yeah.
So when you're being publicized like this, so there's a lot of pressure. And then, Venus says to Rick, can you talk to my dad?
Which is a classic teenage move.
Yeah.
Get one adult to talk to another adult.
Yeah. I do this today. This is how I solve my problems now. You just go, do you mind having a chat to him and just seeing what... Correct me if I'm wrong. It really does take a huge moment from Brandy, their mother, having that conversation with Richard Williams in the kitchen where the two of them have that big
argument.
And I think that's really the moment where you look at Richard Williams and he has to seriously consider that he
could be wrong.
He can't control the girls.
Well, no, he just could be wrong in this instance.
Which is not an easy thing for Richard to accept because he's not really that guy,
He's not that guy.
I'm never wrong, because that is a great scene. I mean, that's the Oscar right there, isn't it? I mean, Will Smith wins an Oscar.
But it really should be Brandy's Oscar or the woman who plays Brandy.
Yeah.
It's actually not Will's.
That scene is...
Like, Brandy nails that scene. Like, Will's awesome in it.
So, yeah, Anjane Ellis-Taylor plays Brandy.
Yeah, it's really her scene.
So, I'll tell you, she was nominated as a supporting actress for that. I looked up the nominees for 2022. I've got to say... she's the best one there.
And who won? A bigger star?
Well, if you want, I'll tell you the nominees, actually. So, Best Actress in a Supporting Role for 2022. So, Anjane Ellis-Taylor, who plays Brandy, she was nominated, but also So the person that won, and I haven't seen this movie, Mel, Ariana DeBose won for West Side Story, which you have seen, I believe.
And she is phenomenal in that role.
Right.
She is definitely the standout performance in that movie because I don't love it.
Yeah.
But the way she lights up the screen, she is spectacular. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, and it's a pretty decent competition. The other nominee that you probably will be aware of, Kirsten Dunst, was nominated for Power of the Dog, which was that.
It's a horrific movie. She's also good in it too.
The kind of depressing cowboy movie. But she is very good in that movie.
She is.
I can see why she was nominated. Judi Dench for Belfast, who is also quite good.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, I'm very mixed on the movie, but Judi Dench. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Judi Dench could make a toilet paper commercial and you'd be like, oh, it's nominate her. I mean, she's so good.
But at least you've got 2 women of color being nominated.
Yeah, that's very true. I think Rick is very, very excited about the idea that she's going to be playing tennis. He might be getting some moolah very, very soon.
They're at the West Classic Tournament in Oakland, California.
Ooh.
Sorry, Bank of the West Classic. And you and I, as we're not tennis fans, we do not watch these random tournaments.
I mean, I know people that are into tennis; they're really into it. But I'm not really a big tennis person.
Me neither.
There's only so many times I can turn my head.
But
from
you
left to
don't
right.
need to be a tennis fan to enjoy this movie.
So, of course, before she even plays a competitive game, Venus, the Nike guy comes to the room, and these guys are very trustworthy. I'm sure they go in talking to young kids, going, sign this paperwork.
Did you notice how thin these contracts are in this movie? As if this contract is like 3 pages.
I know, they're written in crayon so kids can read it. It's just really silly. So the Nike guy's like, oh, listen, yeah, we think, and the way they pitch it is so slimy. They're like, listen, we want to be in the Venus Williams business, and we think you're the next best thing, and we want to help you get there. Here's $3 million out of the goodness of our hearts.
Well, no, it starts as 1, and then they up their offer to 3.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
After her first match that she wins against Sean Stafford.
Oh, got you, okay, right. I have a feeling it's going to go up even more then. But I love that, and then you've got Rick Mackey again going, guys, this is a good deal.
Yeah, it's triple 50%, in value.
50% for me. This is great.
He only gets 15.
Now,
because she's a minor and it's not covered in the book, we have no way of knowing the dynamics at play here. Like
okay.
I do remember Richard a little bit talking about it in his book because there was a quote from his real business advisor, who of course negotiates the deal. This deal is not negotiated with dad and a coach.
Really?
Who would have thought?
Why do I think
maybe
it does?
some lawyers might have been involved?
I actually watched this movie going, this is real. This is how it works. You're telling me?
No, there's lawyers and accountants.
Okay, fair enough then. Oh, that's a shame. You always take away the magic, Mel, don't you? Like, God, I honestly watched that scene go, it must work like this. I mean, this is how it is. It's just not going to happen.
She's underage, so she's also going to need guardians to sign it too. We don't see the details in the movie, but I suspect they are concerned that it locks her down for too many years. And if she is as successful as they think she is, and we don't know this yet,
no,
they're like, we could do better in time. So why sign the first deal?
Venus plays in the tournament. She keeps winning. Like, she keeps going. And at the
she wins against Sean, but then she loses against Sanchez in the next game.
That's right. Sanchez Vicario is the name of the, but like, that's a big game. That's a big professional. This person's ranked like in
number 1 at the time.
Yeah, like this is like losing against her is not a big deal, but she doesn't.
But really, it is dramatically for the movie.
But it doesn't really lose. I mean, she doesn't lose technically.
Not technically, but she loses the game.
But she gets iced, and she's really the winner of our hearts because of the icing. Isn't that right? I mean, that's really, we know she should have won. We all know the movie makes us feel like she was screwed, right? Because of
no, because you need to find a spot to finish this movie. So I actually think the genius of this is you kind of have her lose a game. And she did lose plenty of games in her career.
Well, they're not in the movie, though.
So then end with, it's actually about the fans and being loved and making tennis more accessible. It makes it feel a bit more human that you've got these teenage girls who are being applauded by other teenagers. Like, that's lovely.
Because Richard says this to her, before she goes to the pro tournament, her first one, he says, the thing is, you're not just playing for yourself. You're going to be playing for every black girl that's like you. Once you realize that, I can't protect you anymore. It's a big deal. Like, he understands that this is a level of, you're going to be inspiring people under the right circumstances that's going to stay with people for generations. That's how important this is. And
because it's not just about tennis, it's saying you can have bigger dreams as a black child than you thought possible. So whether you want to be a doctor or an athlete or a lawyer or whatever it is, the point is you can dream bigger and you can make those dreams come true.
Well, that's right.
I'm showing you how to do it.
Yeah. It's like that's it, when Richard shows them Cinderella, the movie, and he's like, what did you learn? And one of the kids says, you got to dream. That's what Cinderella is about. He thinks Cinderella is about being humble. I watched Cinderella last night again. I was like, I
don't get that lesson.
I don't get that lesson myself.
She's a rule breaker.
Well, that's right. And she's like, I don't know. I never understood.
She's brave.
Yeah. And like, it's all about her dreaming, because the beginning of the movie is about her dreaming about going to the palace. It's about having that dream and almost making that a reality.
But also there's the musical sequence with the mice and all that kind of stuff. Even if you feel lonely, you can kind of build a rich fantasy life to make sure you don't feel alone.
She comes out with those cool beads and the hair.
Beads are awesome.
You do, yeah, it's cool. And you do see them, you go like, oh, yeah, she's cool.
It's also like such a teenage thing to do, and you're like, yeah, I dig it.
I made it. I'm the thing.
Yep. No, I was watching a documentary last night. There was a lot of pushback from other people in the tennis fraternity about that.
About the beads. Can you ask what documentary it was you watched? I watched one last night too. I just thought it might have been.
It was like Serena Williams, the making of a something.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I watched the On the Line, the Richard Williams story.
Yep.
I watched that one.
Did you like it?
I thought it was very good. I almost felt that documentary, it's almost beat for beat King Richard the movie. It's so similar. And I had to conclude that
they made that first, didn't they? Then they made the movie?
Well, it was released actually after the movie was. So the documentary came out in 2022, but I have worked out, I haven't clarified this, but I'm pretty sure the documentary had been made before the movie, because there are so many things in that movie, in the doco, that are in the movie.
Yeah.
That clearly the writer has seen that documentary in advance.
And thought, let's do something with it.
And then let's write the movie, because there's literally interviews where they take dialogue verbatim from the documentary and just put it in the screenplay. Yeah, okay. So it's quite interesting. Rick Mackey, so much of what Rick Mackey says in the movie, like the popcorn line, he literally says that in the documentary. He literally just says the popcorn with extra butter. And I thought, God, they just literally wrote that verbatim in there. There's a couple of Richard Williams lines that are identical as well.
Well, it's interesting because it's very recent history, and there was so much of it filmed and recorded that you know exactly what they said.
Yeah.
So there's kind of less wriggle room in some ways for fiction. Yeah. So much of what about Venus and Serena has been written or recorded, or they've spoken about it. Like, we know all the girls were in the same bedroom. Like, we know all those little details.
Yeah, it's just...
We've seen numerous footage of that Volkswagen bus with Prince on the front.
One of the things Rick Mackey actually said is that he did resign from... Like, he actually terminated the contract between him and the family. And then that was a complex thing. And Rick actually said he was preparing to sue them for...
breach of contract?
Millions of dollars. Because obviously he had invested an extraordinary amount of money.
So what happened there?
At some point during the girls' development, Richard just terminated the contract because of a disagreement.
Yeah, they were only together for about 4 years.
Yeah, just totally terminated it. And then because, as you said, that contract was a powerful contract to get 15% of all
It's
future.
A lot of money.
Yeah, like for him, he invested up front a lot of money, but he's got very little back. And so Rick Mackey's fascinating. He actually said that because the Williams sisters became so successful, he didn't want to be known as the guy that sued the Williams sisters. He wanted to be known...
So he got income streams from other sources.
Right. He wanted to be known as the guy that taught the Williams sisters, not the guy that sued them.
It's smart.
It's smart, but apparently he had a 100-page lawsuit of like, and he probably would have won, to be honest. He could have sued them for millions, for all of the income that he didn't get. But he actually decided to forego it and said, "Nah, I'm not gonna do it." And then the documentary has Richard Williams and Mackey together after that happened, and they're very friendly, and their respect for each other is enormous.
So they clearly made up.
Yeah. Like And one of the
Did
things...
the Williams sisters ever pay him anything for that scholarship and the tuition and everything else?
Great question. I don't think we actually know that.
Because, it is possible. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think genuinely, though, what I got is that he definitely didn't get the return.
No, but that's different to at least covering his costs.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know, actually. How much he made now, I don't think we know. But one thing I do know is that when you see his academy today, Rick Mackey's still a guy. He still teaches people. If you walk about the academy, it's Venus Williams, Serena. This is the Venus Williams court over here. So everything is around the promotion of like, he's the guy
that got them there.
Got them there. And so that's a big thing for him to be able to use that as part of his business. Do you feel there's not enough warts in the movie? Or do you feel like the movie...
It's just not that film.
Yeah, you're just happy with the idea that like...
It's a film designed that a whole family can watch, including kids.
We need more inspirational movies.
I agree. Because that kind of movie could inspire a 10-year-old. Whether it's to study harder at maths or, play harder in soccer or tennis, or it doesn't matter what it is. But if you have a warts and all character, it doesn't inspire in the same way.
And... we should clarify this. This is true that the reason Richard Williams came up with this whole plan is because he's seen a white tennis player earn like 40 grand. Romanian, yeah. And so he just seen her make 40 grand or something for winning a competition, and he made
52,000 for the whole year.
Yeah, and he just was like, okay.
Now, did that not trigger to you like that's pretty solid money from 1994?
It actually did. You took the words out of my mouth. That he was like, I only made 52,000 American dollars
in 1994,
and I was like, that's good.
That's not working class money.
No, that is like
that's my point. They're not.
Yeah, that's good money.
That's my point. They're not working class.
That's the biggest revelation I think you've told me is how that is true, because I really do think the movie.
How many movies have we done where they try and make them more working class?
It's very common, isn't it? It's very common. And then you'll tell me something like, no, they had like a Prius, And you're like, no, stop it, breaking the bubble. But it's so true, because this whole movie is about the underdog, and so many movies are about underdogs.
But they are underdogs, just in a different way. They're underdogs in part because of their color of their skin. And the racism and prejudice against black people, but especially in a white person sport.
Oh, it's hideous. And it hasn't gone away.
And it's wrong, and it needs to be better still to this day. We haven't got there.
I get so buoyed up when I do see the two sisters walk out at the end and sign autographs for people,
It's great.
Yeah, for young girls like them. And you see that and you're like, that is so cool. I mean, your ego will go to the moon at that age, but also they've earned it. They've earned it. Like you deserve to have people look up to you and go, I could do this too.
Now, do you have a box office or a game for me?
Oh, we should. I will cover the box office quickly, actually. The box office of the movie of King Richard is pretty interesting. There's one point of it that
It's COVID.
Yes. Well, that is true. I'll tell you this, right? So the budget of the movie, how much do you think King Richard costs?
I'm going to say 65.
Oh, you're very close. 50 million is the budget, apparently. Very, very good. It's a nice medium budget movie.
You regularly say they don't make movies of that price anymore. And then we do so many of these movies where they're about 50 million.
I feel like they don't. Well, this is what Hollywood tells you, that...
I know, and then we do so many and that's exactly their budget.
Well, there's not many. But I guess, in terms of numbers, you're right. They did make King Richard, but they don't make thousands of these movies. But how much do you think Will Smith got paid?
35, 40 million?
40 million, exactly. So the movie costs 50, Will Smith gets 40.
It's just so wrong.
It's brutal, isn't it? I mean, he got paid a lot of money. This was reported by the Hollywood Reporter, so that's where I'm getting the numbers from. But it just shows you, the movie was quite a low-budget movie, but then when you add in Will Smith's salary to the movie, it becomes like a medium budget. But it's like an enormous amount of the budget is paying him to be in it. So this is what it costs.
And then the Oscars.
And then the Oscars happen, and then you go, well, maybe we shouldn't have paid 40. Maybe it was, certainly 40 for entertainment purposes, maybe, but not really.
Look, the guy basically got himself cancelled.
Yeah, Will Smith is, as many people already know, he's a very, very fascinating figure. We forget, Mel, we were part of the generation that's seen Will Smith become famous when we were younger. And this is a guy that goes from dominating television on a sitcom So like has the best sitcom, the most popular sitcom basically.
Sitcom was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air still now extremely iconic for television. He music, of course, as well. He has a music career that's very famous, very successful. He has number one hits across the world. He kind of almost takes rap music and almost makes it broadly popular.
He does, because it becomes G-rated under him.
Correct. And it makes it almost a family appropriate form of music, which is no mean feat whatsoever. And then outside of that becomes a massive box office drop.
Independence Day.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge.
Men in Black.
Right off the bat too, just like Independence Day, Men in Black, this is big stuff. But
What I find fascinating about him, though, is he was determined to make mega success of his children, and they've all pushed back against him very
Right.
strongly. So this is where he's different from Richard Williams.
For Will Smith, as he's got older, he's always more famous to me for what he's turned down as in movies than what he's actually.
What's he turned down?
Well, one of the things about acting, especially as actors, is that it's really quite famous that you always say to yourself in a healthy way as an actor, you don't want to judge characters. Because if you're going to play a bad guy, and you're going, well, if somebody calls you up and says, I think I'll cast you as this person, he kills people.
Yep.
You don't want to judge the person morally. You want to read the script without judgment in order to get a sense of whether you feel it's the right fit. So not judging a character too harshly is part of it. One of the things Will Smith has done over the years is he's turned down a lot of roles because of very strong opinions he's had about the material, rather than the filmmakers that are actually making the movies.
Which he's allowed to do.
Which he's totally allowed to do. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good idea, but he's totally allowed to do it. So some of the movies he's turned down. He turned down The Matrix, which is very famous.
I don't think he'd be right for The Matrix.
It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? Would he have been good? You can't help but cast him in.
He's too funny.
Yeah. You can tell.
Keanu Reeves is so moody. And with,
it's quite sulky.
He's meant to be kind of like this Jesus replacement type figure.
Correct.
You kind of want him to be a bit moody and awkward.
You couldn't help but imagine Will Smith bring a lot of comedy to the role, especially in 99, which was his vibe. That's true. Django Unchained, which was a really famous one. So Tarantino goes to Will Smith, says, I want you to be the guy. You're Django. Wife is taken from you during slave ownership period during the Civil War, and you go on a revenge story to get her back. So he's offered this script. It's a Tarantino script. Most actors, and Leonardo DiCaprio included.
The violence is off the charts, and I get why he would have said no.
He actually signed to do the movie. He actually said, I'm going to do the movie. So he actually signed to do it. And then when him and Tarantino sat down, the real problem that they had is that Will Smith said, I don't want the story to be about revenge. I want the story to be about love, is what he said. I think he said, Quentin and I couldn't see eye to eye. The only way I could make that movie is it had to be a love story, not a vengeance story.
Which is not what Tarantino does.
Right.
So it was never going to work. So they did the right thing, then parting ways.
I guess so.
Because Will Smith wants to be the hero.
Yeah.
Always does. He doesn't want to be the villain. And if it's a revenge story, he's the villain.
He turned out Inception, which was weird. He again, this is
get that.
This is very similar to like The Matrix. I feel like if you give Will Smith,
it's the wrong role for Will Smith.
Maybe, but I still think there's a reality in 2010 where he can blow people's minds in that movie. But it's just funny.
It's too much of a serious film.
There's an alternative reality where I think Will Smith is not as judgmental about the material, but's more in tune with the people that he should be working with. Like, in my opinion, I think he should be thinking of himself more as a vehicle for a vision that somebody else has. But for him,
that's not how he rolls.
Yeah, he's like, no, I have the vision.
He's not Denzel Washington.
No.
And that's the bit you have to reconcile.
Yeah.
Like Denzel Washington will play a villain, will play a good guy, he has a much bigger range.
But this is, again, I go back to this idea that I think over the last 15 years, I think his work has been a disappointment. And this role here is an exception. Like King Richard is genuinely the exception.
Because he wants to be a safe Hollywood actor. And he's allowed to be. Like, that doesn't mean it makes sense.
Yes, correct. I think he's, for the talent he has, and he's got an unbelievable wealth of it. I think I look back over his last 15 years of work and I go, I think it's a real shame. I don't think you're choosing the best work you could do.
No, I agree. He's not. But I get why he chose not to.
Based on that, we're going to be doing the Will Smith Rotten Tomatoes game. Now, I am going to make Mel. We're going to go through a smidgen of Will Smith's popular career, and I'm going to make Mel guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score is. And I'm going to guess you have not looked this up.
Of course not.
So there's no cheating involved. This tennis match is very, very clearly doled out.
Bring it.
So we're going to go through some of the more popular movies. This is an actor of our generation.
He is.
So I feel like we're going to have seen quite a lot of his work. Feel free to tell me what you have and have not seen. I'm going to start pretty early in his career. We're going to go back to the 90s. I'll start with this one because I think you've seen it. Independence Day, 1996.
So I love this movie.
Yeah?
Like, love it to bits.
I don't think I've ever heard you talk about Independence Day. So
But
you are a
I
fan.
don't know if the critics would have loved it. So I'm going to go like 76.
Yes, I'm going to give you that. That's within 10% margin, 69%. Very, very good. Yes, the critics are not utterly beloved with Independence Day, but it's got such an entertainment value. And
Because it's a bit silly.
Yeah, it's got a lot of comedy in
But
it.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Welcome to Planet Earth. He does that punch. It's great.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the consensus so you have it. The plot is thin, and so is the character development, but it is a thrilling spectacle filled with summer movie fun.
How is the plot thin? Aliens arrive, they fight aliens, aliens lose.
I mean, that's not the thickest plot I've ever seen, but no, I understand what you mean. I always love the plugging in an Apple Mac in order to hack the alien ships. One of my favorite things I've seen in a movie. I love Jeff Goldblum, but
He's
boy,
so
he
good.
is so good in that movie because he is playing that seriously. And you're
As
like,
is the president. He's great in it too.
oh, Bill Pullman.
I love him.
What a guy. God, there's a man there.
The sequel's rubbish though.
I mean, he will be, 100 years will go by. He'll be like, you remember he did that speech in Independence Day?
It makes me emotional.
Oh, God, it's so good. I remember being a kid and watching and going, oh, America, oh, it's so good. Very, very good. But yeah, Will Smith had a lot of success. So we'll go to the next year, 1997, Men in Black.
This is the first one.
Very first one. You saw that in the theater?
I definitely saw that at the cinema.
Everybody did, right? I feel like everybody's seen
Well,
it.
every kid did.
I
don't know about adults because we were kids.
We were. It was
marketed to us.
What do you think about Men in Black?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. To me, it's like the ultimate 3-star movie.
Do you know what I really loved? Was the Men in Black animation, the cartoon series that I used to watch in the mornings.
Oh, the spin-off. Did I see that? I feel like I must have watched that. I remember a lot of us were obsessed with like the eye flashy things. Everybody wanted one of those.
That was pretty cool.
They were pretty cool.
So to me, this is not as good as Independence Day.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to give it 45.
Ooh, rough. No, very rough. Actually, the critics love Men in Black. I know.
Is it because it's a whole about it? Like, they have the whole scene where it's a planet within a planet and all that kind of rubbish?
Maybe. I guess it does have some creative flourishes, I suppose, that the critics might like. But I've got to say, as someone, I don't really get love Men in Black gets. I think it's the ultimate average blockbuster. It's 91%.
Are you kidding me?
Very high. It's considered to be really a classic Hollywood summer blockbuster, and whatever that means.
But it's not good.
I'll tell you the
can't
consensus.
tell me that that's better than Independence Day.
Well, I am on your side.
Rubbish.
I know it sounds stupid, but I came out of the movies. I was like, they literally blew up the White House. I mean, honestly, if I'm paying money, this is what I want to see. So, but yeah, I think Men in Black feels very. My secret thing about Men in Black is I just think it's very anticlimactic as a movie. I think it builds up to literally nothing and then it ends. I feel
because it doesn't have a huge explosion at the end.
No.
And that's what it needs.
It really needs, it's like they run out of money and they go, now we're done now, go home. And I just felt very shortchanged by that. You're right though, because when you watch Independence Day and then you watch Men in Black, it's like, why aren't they blowing up the Chrysler building? Stop blowing it up.
Exactly.
You feel very shortchanged, but I'll give you the consensus though. It says, thanks to a smart script, spectacular set. I don't know where the spectacular set pieces are. It's all right. And charismatic performances from the leads, Men in Black is a satisfying summer hit.
And it's basically all men.
It's Men in Black, isn't it?
No, but Independence Day has more women.
It does. You've got the first
lady,
and then you've got
Will Smith's girlfriend,
and she's like on her own for a good bit in the movie.
And then you've got the other guy's daughters, and then you've got the chief of staff of the president, who's a woman.
Yeah,
Jeff Goldblum's ex-wife.
That's right. She's really good. Oh yeah, no,
right, like it's just an infinitely better.
It's just a bigger. I do love a movie, though, where they just spend, like, the first 30 minutes going, we got these schematics. There's alien ships coming in. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? Look at these.
No, it's the numbers going backwards.
Yeah, I love when they just come up with, like, the government's got these things that tell us shit's going to go down in a month. Or yeah,
I know. I like the ex-couple dynamics. So Jeff Goldblum and his ex-wife, how they fight.
Yeah.
Love those dynamics.
They're fun, aren't they? I agree. All the relationships are very good in that movie as well. I'll go through a few others. I'll see what you've seen and what you haven't seen because we're getting into the weeds now. Wild Wild West.
I've seen it.
Okay, so 1999.
Kevin Kline. Why would Kevin Kline sign up to this movie?
Yes, this was certainly the bubble slightly popped on Will Smith's career. Wild Wild West, very famous flop, but where are you at now with this?
I mean, there are bits in it that worked, and then it just gets too ridiculous at the end.
Well, the giant spider.
Yes.
Yeah, Will, what's his name? Kevin Smith has a very famous story about that giant spider. That was supposed to be in a Superman script, where Superman bought a giant spider, but then the producer of the Superman script did Wild Wild West.
Shouldn't it be in a Spider-Man movie, not a Superman movie?
I mean, there was a lot of dumb reasons why that happened, but basically the reason the end of Wild Wild West has the giant spider in it is because the producer already had a script about a giant spider, and he was like, I want a giant spider at the end. So it's very stupid.
So I like the whole idea of like, this is a different way of how you can win or lose the American Civil War. That was kind of cool.
That is true.
But I'm going to go like 34.
34. You're not too hard. I'll not give it though. It's 16%. So very
fair.
Very small. I mean, this was like a genuine flop. I mean, we're talking about not good at all. We have to go to 2001, kind of a comeback movie for Will Smith. His first real award contender, Ali. Will Smith playing...
Do you know I've never seen it?
Ooh, really? So Will Smith playing Muhammad Ali.
I can't get excited about a boxing movie.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't. I don't think you'd be very excited about a movie. It's directed by Michael Mann. Michael Mann's got a very emotionally cool point of view. So a lot of Ali is not particularly dramatic, but it's very like... How do I describe it? It's very like just hangs out with Ali during these times of his life where he's alone and you're just watching him be the guy,
Yeah, no.
So, dare I get you to guess that it was an Oscar
People
contender.
loved that movie.
Yeah, and he was nominated,
75?
I'll give you that. 69%. The reason it's not higher is because I think Michael Mann's filmmaking sensibility is a little too...
It's not
unique.
mainstream enough.
It is. That's a very good way to put it. So we'll go to 2002. Will Smith needed a hit, Mel. He needed a hit, so nothing better than...
Bad Boys 2?
Oh, well, actually, yes. We've got two movies, actually, back to back. He just thought, I need some hits. Let's do some sequels. And so he did Men in Black 2.
Yeah, which I've seen.
Which you've seen. What do you think about that?
The villain's a woman.
Yeah.
That chick from not Law and Order.
It's Lara Flynn Boyle.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like Linda Florentino was originally that role and she had to pull out. I feel like there was a casting switch. This was famous Men in Black 2 because Barry Sonnenfeld directed a whole scene. The ending of the movie was at the Twin Towers. This big set piece with the Twin Towers in New York. But then it's 2002, and so
can't do that.
You can't do it, and so they had to take the whole ending out, and they had to Frankenstein something else together. So how do you feel about it now?
I don't love it.
Yeah.
So the first one, though, got 95%, you said.
It's very big.
Which is ridiculous.
I mean, it's really a darling of blockbusters now, really.
So the second one, 54?
38%. Really didn't like it. It
still made money.
It did do well, yeah. There's still plenty...
Like, kids went.
Oh, yeah.
I went to the cinema and saw it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I even think Barry Sonnenfeld, doesn't he like the movie? He made it. I think he doesn't particularly think it's very good. But of course, he makes two sequels because he does Bad Boys 2 straight after. Have you seen any of the Bad Boys movies? Oh, you have seen both. Have you seen both of them? I should probably get you to do...
I can't remember.
Okay.
But I've definitely seen one, if not both.
Okay, cool. So he does Bad Boys 2. Dare I ask you, what score do you think Bad Boys 2 got?
I don't mind it. I would rather watch that than Men in Black.
Whoa, that's a big call. I like that. I'm the same. I feel it's similar. Bad Boys 2 has that big energy.
It's also about
Michael
cops
Bay.
trying to fight bad guys.
It's very shooty. It's
Like,
very
I can
shooty
get
movie.
on board with that.
Yeah, it is like there's a lot of people going. I mean, I love Joe Pantoliano going like, what are you guys doing? You blew up a boat. Look at my city. You destroyed my city. And then he's like, listen, we got these drug dealers all over. I need you to do whatever it takes.
Exactly.
It's just
I love that.
It's just such a fun
It's doing
movie.
their patriotic duty.
It's so dumb.
And they don't take themselves seriously. I feel at times Men in Black does take itself a little bit seriously.
The little behaved, maybe is the way to put it. Sometimes a blockbuster that's a bit misbehaving is good. You want it to be a little cheeky.
It's summer. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 40.
23%.
It's a bit harsh.
This is one of these movies, though, that has a massive difference between audience score and critics.
I bet.
I know, it's easy to pick nearly. Bad Boys 2 is like a 80% audience score. Everyone loves it. And then
You can just imagine a whole bunch of teenage boys watching that as part of the sleepover circuit when they're, say, 14.
100%. I mean, like, this was rented a lot for like teenage boys as well. So the consensus is very short. 2.5 hours of explosions and witless banter. Brutal. Absolutely not a fan
It's a
of
bit
that.
harsh.
Oh yeah, they don't like it. They don't like it at all. So up to 2004, iRobot. Do you remember iRobot?
I've seen the beginning and I was so bored I stopped it.
Wow, well, it wasn't great. I must say, you probably made a good call.
So 15%?
57% actually. It's not a good movie. There's a scene in iRobot I've never forgotten because I saw it in the cinema and I'll never forget it till the end of my days. Will Smith is sitting down for a dialogue scene and they're talking about the plot. They're trying to push the plot forward. Hey, there's these robots. Gee, we got to look at this. And then Will Smith, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, lifts up his leg onto the table and says, what do you think of my 2004 vintage Converse shoes? Do you think they're good?
A product placement.
I was like, what is going on in this movie? It was the most astoundingly blatant advertisement I've ever seen. I remember just...
But you can also do better than that.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it.
James Bond can do product placement. Has a million product placements.
Extraordinary. I was like, I didn't pay money to be sold a shoe, Anyway, it's an interesting movie. 2005, we're going to go to Hitch, which I think was maybe...
It's a cute movie.
Romantic
comedy. It's cute. He's the matchmaker, but he falls in love.
Yeah, Eva Mendes. I feel like it's that.
He gets stung by a bee or something, gets really swollen in the face. It's very funny.
God, you're bringing me back now. I do remember that. It was pretty harmless movie. I thought it was pretty good. This was during that period where they were saying that Will Smith is the last actor that can sell a movie just on his own name. Because Hitch was essentially a very basic romantic comedy script that would make 50 million. But if you put Will Smith in it, it makes like 200 million. So it was kind of this example that they were saying that this is the Will Smith effect. If you get him in your movie, you can elevate.
No, I think people just want a cute date night movie.
Maybe. He didn't do very well.
Yeah, but not because of him.
We can't do the math on that. We just don't know how many, how do people's heads work? I do wonder.
Well, that's how movie executives, producers work as an excuse to pay women less.
There's a famous story about Hitch you might be interested in that, like, they originally had cast a white actress to be Will Smith's love interest, and they were uncomfortable about that, having a mixed-race relationship in 2005. So they decided to cast Eva Mendes to, like, not have that.
It's still mixed-raced.
Well, yeah, but they're basically, they said, it's so stupid, but the way I heard it is that the studio were uncomfortable having a black man and a white woman be in love. They thought they wouldn't make money off it. And you're like, this is 2005, and this is what they're thinking, They're
and that's my point. They have no way of telling it's the Will Smith effect. They're not basing it on data. They're just basing it on a bunch of white men in a club guessing.
It's just people going, whoa, this is how I feel, So Hitch, what do you think about it?
I enjoy it. I think it's cute.
Well, score-wise, what are you thinking?
65.
Very close. 68. Very good. Yeah, you were good to pick that. Like, not perfect, but not bad. Pursuit of Happiness.
Haven't seen it.
Okay, let's go up. I Am Legend.
Haven't seen it.
Hancock.
Haven't seen it.
Here we go. See, this is what I told you. Will Smith's career go down. Mel hasn't seen any of these. £7.
Definitely haven't seen it.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Absolutely god awful. Men in Black 3.
I've seen it.
You love Men in Black. You've seen all of them. You are such a fan.
I really liked them as a kid.
So I think I
Number 3 is rubbish. One of the Hemsworths is in it.
No, that's the one after this one.
There's a 4th?
There's a 4th. Do you not know? So there's Men in Black.
No,
there's
stop caring.
Stop caring.
Haven't seen it.
Let's skip it. It's not very
Just
good.
as I haven't seen him directing The Karate Kid.
I do none of those Karate Kid movies since like
the 90s. Since we were kids are any good.
Yeah, they don't even exist to me. I
agree.
I just delete them. Focus? Did you see Focus?
Nope.
No. Okay. See, this is how bad Will Smith's career goes. Suicide Squad? I bet you haven't seen
Definitely not.
that. Okay, we're going. I'm going up. Aladdin. I'm going to 2019.
I have seen Aladdin.
Okay, I basically skipped like a decade.
I don't love it.
I don't love it either. Directed by Guy Ritchie. Bizarre. Completely. The fact.
I'm very mixed views on Guy Ritchie.
Yeah. Tell me your thoughts.
He struggles with 3-dimensional female characters.
Oh God, he just struggles with 3-dimensional anything. Like honestly,
he's not bad with occasional 3-dimensional male characters.
Oh yeah, mate. Yeah.
He loves that. Yeah. Look, his Netflix TV show last year, or was it earlier this year, was very good.
Yeah. Okay.
And he had several 3-dimensional women characters in it.
Okay. Right. I haven't seen it actually. I feel like I've seen a lot of his work. Some of it I really do enjoy, but you're right. He's almost at his best when he's doing quite 2-dimensional stories, but in a very stylized way. It's almost when he starts getting into the realm of like, let's make it complex that he actually struggles.
His Sherlock Holmes movies are okay. They're a bit cute.
They're quite good. I don't mind those actually. That's a good point. They've got a nice bit of style and pizzazz to them and stuff.
Is he actually better when he's doing stuff for teenagers?
You know, his work with Matthew Vaughn, which was kind of a boys' club movie era, he probably was at his most comfortable doing those movies with the gangsters and stuff, and he is very good at Tarantino-esque dialogue rhythms, but in a London way. You know, these were his strengths. It's when he goes off and does like King Arthur. Remember he did the King Arthur movie?
I turned it off 20 minutes in.
It's really weird. It's 150 million of rubbish, you know.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, he's really interesting. He's got into more mid-tier movies now, and I must say I don't mind some of them, but I never expect good movies from him.
Watch his Netflix TV show. It's very good.
Maybe I'll get into it. But Aladdin, you know, you were mixed on this, I feel.
I think it's impossible to replace Robin Williams.
Oh, God. Yeah, so true.
And I just think in a movie with this much magic, it needs to be animation and not real life.
So true. I mean,
it just does.
Has there been, certainly not in our lifetime, but maybe ever, has there been a more iconic animated character than Robin Williams and the Genie? I mean, I can't think of anything where an actor and his voice is so tied to the animation that you're watching. I just think it's just such a stupid idea to try and recreate that. No.
The one I kind of think of is Angela Lansbury playing Mrs. Teapot in Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And her role is tiny in comparison to the Genie in Aladdin.
It was so special too in a way because the relationship that young kids had with Robin Williams as an actor was so unique.
Hook.
Yeah.
Jumanji.
There was
Flubber.
I mean, there was something so... Mrs. Doubtfire is in there.
We have an emotional attachment to that man as a child.
I think we do because there's something about... Because Robin Williams had such a childlike presence on screen. He had such a playfulness.
What's the one with where he plays the doctor? Patch Adams?
Patch Adams, yeah.
So many movies.
I feel he's such a childlike connection to kids that when he does Aladdin, it's almost like it's for us. You know?
It is for us.
It's not for
the parents.
Yeah,
it is for us.
It's literally like we just go, oh, this is us. You know, we're just so connected to that character.
Now, if Will Smith had done more kids-related content, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He does more adult stuff.
I wonder, I don't know, maybe he just says yes, but I do wonder if you were a fly on the wall for Will Smith's agent saying to him, do you want to do the Genie? I wonder how immediately Will Smith says yes. Because some people...
So you get to sing, which he loves, you get to dance, and you get to act.
Yeah, maybe.
He gets to do the trifecta, and he hasn't done singing in a while.
Suppose so. Maybe he says yes straight away. I just wonder how much does that baggage of that legacy make you go, oh, I don't know if I can do it.
He's got a big ego.
That's one thing we know about Will Smith is that he does have a big ego. So what do you think the score is?
So it's not great. Yeah. I'm going to say 45.
Ooh, you're very close, but I can't give it to you. You're just slightly outside the threshold. So Aladdin has got 57%. All right, so we're getting into the last few years. I think I'm going to skip up to the movie we're talking about today, Mel. 2021, King Richard. So, we know we like this movie. It's probably the best movie Will Smith has made in, I think we can officially say, a very long time.
He's very good in it.
He is. He's very good. Did he deserve the Oscar?
Well, who was his competition?
I'll tell you the competition now. So he wins, of course, we know that. Javier Bardem is nominated for a film that we have covered, Being the Ricardos.
Oh, I think Will Smith is better.
Yeah, okay. So Benedict Cumberbatch, Power of the Dog.
Benedict is very good.
He is good. It's a good role, that conflicted inner turmoil going on. So he's in there. Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom, which was
I did not like that movie.
Denzel Washington in The Tragedy of Macbeth, which I still haven't seen.
Yep.
I don't know why I haven't seen it. Just doesn't seem like a fun movie to watch, really. So I honestly, looking at those, Will Smith probably does deserve to win.
In a COVID era where I want to be rewarding something with a bit of happiness, then Benedict Cumberbatch's very depressing movie, I think it is Will.
I think it is, I think he is probably the best one. It's pretty amazing, actually. So yeah, so he does.
And he is excellent in it.
He is great. He's got the accent. I mean, he paid 40 million, but he's good in it though. He's emotional. I believe him in it. That's the thing.
And maybe Will Smith just should have spent a decade playing dads.
Yeah. I think it's a shame. I just watched King Richard and I go, God, this guy could be, he is great. And so there's nothing bad about that. But some of the things he's chosen to do, I just go, you deserve better than this. You really do. But King Richard, of course, we both like it. What do you think the score is for King Richard?
85?
90%. So I'll give you that. That is a point. And the critical consensus continues. Refreshingly nuanced storytelling and a towering performance from Will Smith in the title role.
Now, what's next?
Ooh. Yeah, we've got... Well, actually, we're releasing an episode that we have had in the vault.
For nearly a year.
For a year. I hope it's good. We'll have to find out. I've forgotten even what
We had so much fun recording it. It's got to be good.
Yeah, I feel like this is a movie that we'd almost put so much pressure on ourselves because we talked about Ridley Scott's Gladiator.
Yeah.
We have talked about this movie for years. Years and years and years.
It did feel like a therapy session at times.
It did a bit. It was just getting it out was hard. God, it felt like an exorcism when we finished the show. We're like, it's done. We did it. We did Gladiator.
It felt very healthy.
It's very exciting. Every time we talked about a lead actor, we'd go, well, he's not Russell Crowe in Gladiator. It's just like impossibly difficult comparison to live up to. But every lead actor is going, well, he's not that guy. So I'm quite excited. So we have this in the vault, and that's coming out as our next episode.
It is.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Well, thank you. Thanks, folks. Thanks for listening. We're going to bring that to you in the next couple of months. What else is coming up, Mel? We've got one more episode coming up as well.
Nuremberg. Also with Russell Crowe.
With Russell Crowe as well. So it's very Crowe heavy end of the year. But
we're excited though.
I can't wait to see it, If this movie is crap,
it's going to break our hearts.
I am going to cry. In the theatre, I might just lose it. I don't know. But
I don't know. We were very disappointed when Ridley Scott released The Last Duel and Napoleon.
Well, yeah, that was hard. That was not an easy time, wasn't it?
I was really excited about The Last Duel.
I just want to do a review that's good. We've done so many bad ones. All our review shows on our feed are like, why are you picking the crappiest movies?
I love Kingdom of Heaven.
That is true. We did that. Well, that was a main feed show, wasn't it? Yeah, that's true. Well, hopefully, I've got my fingers crossed that Nuremberg... Early word, I know they're early reviews, that they're good.
Because it's been released to a festival, so they've seen it.
So some people have seen it at festivals, and the word is that it's good. So, I don't know. That's just another reason to have... That's just... The higher you go, the longer you fall. But we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be good now. So, yeah. So, subscribe to us, guys, if you haven't already, on all the usual podcast apps, and we'll see you on the next one.